Gentlemen, welcome back to TLT Talks. I am here today with a man that needs no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyways because he deserves it. Mr. Robert Reffkin, founder and CEO of Compass, an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. This guy, an entrepreneur solves problems. That's what they do. This guy saw a real estate world with a ton of problems, came in, solved it, created the best real estate company in the history of real estate companies. What a culture, 8 principles which are directly behind me, and a small just over $1 trillion worth of sales. And just a side note, 50 marathons across 50 states for charity. Way not to make the rest of us look bad, Robert. Welcome.
Well, I'm glad to be here. And also, you should know, Eugene was one of our first top agents that we hired and came to Compass now almost 10 years ago. So thanks for being on the journey.
Thanks, man. What a ride. So what a good time for reflection. 2023 was nuts. Inflation, rates, wars, legal changes. For us, we lost my mother-in-law literally first week of the year. If there's one thing entrepreneurs know certain, is that nothing is certain and change is imminent. So, this is a good time. End of year, it's a good time for reflection. For Compass, what was one of the biggest wins of the year, and what was one of the biggest learns of the year?
Look, I think one of the biggest wins would be that we've had near record retention of both agents, so agent retention, but also employee retention. And I think that's the ultimate sign of are you doing a good job or not. Do the people that can go anywhere, are they deciding to go or are they deciding to stay? Yeah, and so I'm really proud of that. And I think we may talk about it later, but I think culture and bringing culture back to Compass post-pandemic had a big contributing factor for that, and that was not easy.
Yeah. Oh man, they say, I read somewhere that the New York City attrition average is something like 18 months. So if you think for any entrepreneur out there, by the time you interview, hire, train, you're 3 to 6 months in, and you've essentially got a year left. And so for the most important part of retention is culture, and I think at Compass, that's done at such a high level. What about a learn? Any big learn? But on this team we talk about constant and never-ending improvement. Things always break, things always get messed up, or there's a learn even if things are going well, there's a way to do it better. Any big learns for the year?
Yeah, look, this is it's not. It wasn't like a learning in that I didn't know it at all before, then I just knew it. But this last year just showed me more than ever before. People are everything. No matter how much technology you have, or this you have, or scale, or whatever. At the end of the day, it's great people that make great companies, that make great products, that make great managers, and people are the most important part of the equation for a great company.
Oh man, for sure. Every time we're on an interview, and people are like, "Well, why Compass, or why Corcoran, or why real estate company, or another segment of the market too?" Like, why Chase? The truth is the company is only a summation of all of its people, its leadership, sets the precedent, and you guys do a phenomenal job with that.
And maybe one more thing, it's in people, like what makes a great person, of course, a whole bunch of things. But I think what stands out in this period of time, as you're trying to bring culture back, is passion. And passion doesn't mean like rah. There's different types of passion. Right. It could just mean conviction. Right. It can mean be willing to have that hard conversation, with the people on your team, your manager, and that you care so much about what you're doing that you're willing to have a hard conversation around it. But passion and positivity are key to making the culture, at least for Compass.
That's right.
I haven't seen very many people realize their dreams that have no passion and no positivity.
That's right. I'll build a back team. We don't know anything about passion or positivity. All that's nonsense, obviously. All right, so Robert, 2024 is right around the corner. 2 months ago, we'd be having a very different conversation, but it seems like rates are coming down, the narrative's shifting. I'm seeing a lot more in person. If you pull out your crystal ball, what are you seeing for 2024?
Look, I think 2024 from a real estate perspective will be better than 2023. The reason why is all the key metrics on both the inventory side of the equation and the demand side are pointing in the right direction. Right. Inventory has finally started increasing year over year. It looks like we'll have about 4% more inventory in the end of 2023 relative to last year. And in November, typically inventory goes down every week. It actually went up every week this year. On the demand side, look, we had more buyers than sellers when there were 8.1% mortgage rates. Now it's 6.6, and it looks like it's heading down further.
Right.
And so there's still more demand than supply. I would expect on prices. I don't think they'll go down, but I don't think they'll go up dramatically either. And I think it's going to be a good spring market. The key question for our industry is, will the Fed lower their first rate in March, before the spring market, March 20th, or in early May in that meeting? The estimate is like 80% probability that'll be in March, and that would be a very good thing for real estate.
Yeah, for sure. And what we're seeing as the rate starts to come down, that's usually the immediate gas or brake pedal. We had some leftover inventory that sort of wasn't moving, and the first thing you see when the narrative shifts is absorption. So everything starts to move, which then again has an impact on inventory levels. Then sellers feel more confident to come to the market. Then buyers have more buying power, and so on and so forth. And Robert gave an incredible, State of the Union at retreat, and it was, it's all here. Everything's here. Everything's in people.
Eyes on eyes.
Eyes on eyes. And I thought that was so powerful. And for a technology company, for the CEO of a technology company that's also real estate, to understand and focus on the in-person interaction is fairly rare. And for anyone that is in the field or communicating with clients all day long, it's like the tech really helps, but it's the help. This is irreplaceable. For all the conversations out there, fear of AI, or listen, I, like anybody else, love efficiency. I like to be efficient. I like to move things through quickly, but never at the expense of the efficacy or the nature of the relationship. And so I think that's really critical. All right, Mr. Reffkin, you have about as good as aerial view as anyone that I know. Thousands of agents, thousands of entrepreneurs essentially, across dozens of states with majority market share. To all of our fellow entrepreneurs out there, not necessarily even limited to real estate, you got an aerial view, plus your own personal experience of building this beautiful company. Some principles, anything you want to share, any wisdom we can impart on what works really well and what do we steer clear of?
Look, I think the secret to realizing your potential in real estate as a real estate advisor, real estate agent, is being both high tech and high touch.
Right.
And making sure, like if I was an agent, I would look myself in the mirror and I would say, no one's going to have a better command of technology to do their job than me as an agent. And no one, that's high tech. And then high touch, nobody is going to see more eyes in person every day, week, and month than me. I'm going to show my sphere of influence that I care more about them, which is very hard to show people you care on a device, on a phone, text message, email. That's not connecting. Connecting is face-to-face, eyes on eyes, person to person, building your business one relationship at a time.
Right.
I think that's the advantage of the moment. I think technology has deceived, mobile phones have deceived people into thinking that they're connecting when they're not.
Yeah.
Being on a phone, that's not an emotional connection. Emotional connection, that creates like and trust.
Right.
And as a real estate advisor, you're in the business of creating like and trust with buyers and sellers. That's how you get repeat and referral business. That's how you create clients for life.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of go all in. So for me, I would be going on vacations only with clients. I'd go breakfast, lunch, dinner only with clients. Well,
maybe visit open houses with my family.
I believe agents are my clients. So almost every Friday, I invite agents and employees to my house for dinner. I go to open houses every Sunday with my family. I bring my kids there. I visit over 200 offices in person, of course, a year. And I try to be in person as much as possible. He had what event did I go to?
It was the annual trivia night.
We had an annual trivia night in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you want to come?" Of course I'm going to come. All right. So I came there and we did something on the stage, and I think it's good pizza. And look, he invited someone in his team who works from India. One of his partner in his team that works in India. He flew him all the way in because eyes on eyes, face to face, showing you care. That's how you build a great company and a great team. And so that to me it's almost an unfair advantage. If you recognize the full power of in-person connection, it's unfair because this device has, how do I say it in a way that's nicer than brainwash? There are billions of dollars of advertising every year, and a lot of, and hundreds of billions of dollars of research and development and engineering to make you focus on this as opposed to this. So the world's gone here. So if you could somehow break yourself out of, remember they call it the Matrix?
The Matrix.
This is the Matrix.
If
you could somehow get out of the Matrix and you could get eyes on eyes, face to face, it's actually, your advantage over everyone else as a real estate agent has widened. And same for me as a brokerage CEO. I think a lot of CEOs of all companies are now connecting less with their people because Zoom makes people feel like they can work not in person, and I just don't believe that. You will never see me ever see me in the home office. That won't happen.
Yeah, I love it. Actually, one of my good friends is a managing director of JP Morgan, and he basically said that Jamie Dimon calls everyone's back in the office.
Of course,
he calls it an innovation combustion. That when you're around and smart people in a room and everybody's talking, somebody says something, someone picks up on it. Oh, with that thing, boom! It just that one idea, that one word could turn into a multi-billion-dollar, movement.
Look, I study the best, the best of business leaders, and I guarantee you, there's not a single one of them that I would say. Henry Kravis, KKR, Steve Schwartzman, Blackstone, Jamie Dimon. None of these people, let's go across a lot of industries, are working outside of in person because the job is to get everyone together.
For sure.
And here are the quotes: "You can't build trust virtually. You can't build a great culture virtually. In person, virtually you can't have those spontaneous moments of ideation and innovation, as Jamie Dimon said, or of connection." I'm fully all in person. So if you're an agent and a team leader, I think you have an obligation as a team leader to make sure that the people on your team are developing the right habits. Right. And if you're not working with them in person, you're allowing them to develop the wrong habits because we're in people business.
That's right. It's lead by example. It's do as I do, not as I say. And I think very few people out there, sir, do it better than you. All right, I know we got to roll. I know we got to wrap up. Any one thing to sort of stay away from? I guess it could be, don't be Zoom so much as in person, but any final thought as an entrepreneur, what to stay away from, what to do not do?
Stay away from negativity.
Yeah.
Right. There's no place. Yes. Of course, stay away from Zoom, but we already talked about that. Negativity, and stay away from ego. Ego as defined by this, the world is giving you feedback all the time and giving you signals. Ego prevents you from hearing feedback because you're defensive. Feedback's a gift. So make sure that you are learning from the world around you as much as possible, and your ego's not preventing you from listening. And negativity. I just haven't seen the person who's the most negative always realize success. I just haven't seen that. Now, I'm not saying don't be critical. Right. I'm not saying don't point out what's wrong. No, that's great.
That's awesome.
But you could point out what's wrong and point out this is wrong, blah blah blah, and then it's over. Or you don't no constructive next step. Yeah. It's just bad. Or you can say, hey, this thing's wrong. This thing's wrong here, with a smile on your face, because you know that because it's wrong, there's an opportunity to make it better. And that's again, negativity that ends the conversation. Don't be around it.
Yeah, please. Feedback is great. All feedback. Entrepreneurs see things as it is. The worst thing you can do is make someone coy to give you the feedback. Yeah, you want the feedback.
It's important. I mean, you know this because you're a team leader. It's harder to give feedback than to accept it. You think it's hard to accept it? I know. Trust me, it is. Remember, the person that's talking to you, it's harder for them to give it. And so you should recognize they're not just doing that to be mean to you. Right. They're doing that because they're trying to help you.
Yeah. It takes some time, energy. It's their time, their energy also. All right, Robert, I know we got to roll. One last question, a final closing thought. Everyone's going to want to know what is next for Compass. Final thoughts in close. What's next for Compass? Next year, next decade, anything you want to share?
Yeah, look, of course, we're going to continue to invest in Compass culture, which I think is the most important. We care more, we connect more, face-to-face more. We grow together. We believe in each other. We support each other. Like that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. But since we've already talked about that. Next year, the things I'm excited by from a technology perspective is we're going to launch a bunch of team functionality. Now this industry of real estate, really a real estate advisor, an agent, is advising on a multi-party transaction from end to end. There are so many different stakeholders, whether it's I'm a team leader, I have an assistant on my team, I may have a COO on team, there are buyer agents, there are seller agents on for a listing, you have title, you have escrow, you have loan officers. So we're building a platform that will empower every professional that is required to make the transaction possible in real estate. It empowers every one of them to accomplish more, because that's what we are. That's our reason to be. To help them grow their business and have a better quality of life, more income to support their family, more time to be with it. So team functionality is core to that. But that's for the real estate professional. For the consumer, we're launching this year a client dashboard for buyers and separately for sellers, which I'm very excited by. It's going to be something that agents will be able to give to their clients before, during, and after the transaction. It will be their one-stop shop for everything home. It will be a visual receipt of all the things that an agent does for the client, because clients tend to forget all that, all the effort that went into it. So it will show the value. But I'm very excited by that. If you're an agent at Compass, we put so much of the process into one place. The typical agent has to use 11 different software providers to do their job. At Compass, you can do virtually everything in one place. Now, this is our opportunity to do it for the buyer and seller as well.
Amazing. Mr. Reffkin.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much,
Thank you.
Rob. What a pleasure. What a pleasure.
I'm proud of you.